BME 2155, professional disappointment and car owner, driving my 2003 Honda Civic. That sounds like a dying walrus having an asthma attack. Engine starts making noises that would make a chainsaw manufacturer concerned. Smoke coming out of the hood like I'm hosting a gender reveal party. Gone wrong. Pull into first mechanic shop I see because my automotive knowledge extends to knowing where the gas goes. Walk in expecting some greasy old dude named Frank to rob me blind. Instead, see this absolute unit of a tomboy behind the counter. We're talking 5'9" of pure mechanical goddess energy wrapped in coveralls. Short messy hair, grease stains and arms that could probably bench press my entire existence. She looks up from whatever engine part she's molesting and grins. "Let me guess, short king," she says. "Your car sounds like it's dying." Immediately get defensive about the height comment, even though it's accurate. "How did you know?" I ask, like the social genius I am. "Because you look like the type of manlet who drives a Civic until it literally falls apart." She's roasting me, and I haven't even told her my name yet. Explain that my car is making weird noises and probably needs professional help. "Unlike you," she adds with a smirk, "your car can actually be fixed." Jesus Christ, this woman has no chill whatsoever. She introduces herself as Riley and tells me to pop the hood. Walks over to my car and immediately starts diagnosing the problem, like some kind of automotive psychic. "Yep, your timing belt is more screwed than your chances of beating me in arm wrestling." "How do you know I can't arm wrestle?" I ask, genuinely confused. "Educated guess based on the Nintendo Switch case on your dashboard, tiny man." She's not wrong, but the accuracy hurts more than expected. Tells me it'll cost about $600 to fix and take 2 days. Nearly choke on my own saliva because that's my entire savings account. "Don't worry, short stuff," she says. "I'll give you the broke college student discount." Knocks off $50, which is still expensive, but better than nothing. She tells me to come back Wednesday and my car will be ready. Spend the next 2 days taking the bus like some kind of peasant. Finally, Wednesday arrives and I show up to collect my hopefully functional vehicle. Riley is there wearing a tank top that shows off her surprisingly muscular arms. "Your chariot awaits, Your Majesty," she says with exaggerated formality. Leads me over to my Civic, which now sounds like an actual car instead of a dying animal. "Want to take it for a test drive to make sure everything's working?" she asks. Obviously say yes because I'm not an idiot. She hops in the passenger seat and immediately makes the car feel smaller. Her presence is overwhelming in the best possible way. Start the engine and it purrs like a contented cat. "Holy shit," I say. "You actually fixed it." "Did you doubt my mechanical prowess pocket edition?" she teases. Begin pulling out of the parking lot when my hands start shaking from nervousness. Being this close to an attractive woman in an enclosed space is activating my social anxiety. Try to shift into first gear, but my hands are trembling like I have Parkinson's. Keep missing the gear and grinding the transmission. Riley gets visibly annoyed. "Come on, Anon, put it in the first gear. It's not rocket science." Continue fumbling with the gear stick like an absolute amateur. She finally gets fed up and reaches over to help. Her hand closes around mine on the gear knob. "Jesus Christ," she mutters. "This gear knob is tiny, just like everything else about you probably." Realize she's definitely not talking about the actual gear knob anymore. My face turns redder than Mario's hat. She starts laughing hysterically at my reaction. "Relax, short king. I'm just messing with you." Somehow manage to get the car into gear and drive around the block. Engine runs perfectly and transmission shifts smoothly. "You did an amazing job," I tell her, trying to change the subject. "I know," she says with confidence that could power a small city. Drive back to the shop and park the car. She gets out and stretches, her tank top riding up slightly. Try not to stare but fail miserably because I'm a simple man with simple needs. "See something you like, manlet?" She catches me looking. Stammer out some excuse about checking if she had grease on her shirt. "Sure you were," she laughs. "Anyway, that'll be $5.50 as promised." Hand over my money while trying to think of reasons to extend this interaction. "Hey, Riley," I say, mustering courage I didn't know I had. "Want to grab coffee sometime?" She looks at me with this expression I can't quite read. "Coffee?" she repeats. "With me?" Nod enthusiastically like a golden retriever who heard the word walk. "I don't know," she says. "You seem pretty high maintenance for someone I could literally carry in my back pocket." The potential rejection stings, but at least she's being creative about it. Plus, she continues, "I just got out of a relationship last month." My heart sinks because that usually means rebound territory or not ready to date. "But," she adds with a grin, "coffee sounds nice." Besides, if you try to run away, I can easily catch you with these long legs. Agree immediately, because I'm not about to negotiate terms when a miracle is happening. Spend the rest of the week planning what to wear and practicing conversation topics, also Googling whether she was serious about being able to catch me if I ran. Spoiler alert, she probably could. Saturday finally arrives and I show up at the coffee shop 5 minutes early. Riley walks in wearing jeans and a fitted t-shirt that makes her look even taller. She spots me immediately and waves. "There's my favorite pocket rocket," she announces loud enough for half the coffee shop to hear. Other customers turn to look, and I want to disappear into the floor. We order drinks and find a table in the corner. Conversation flows surprisingly well despite her constant height jokes. She tells me about how she got into mechanics and her plans to open her own shop. Also mentions her recent breakup with some guy who was apparently intimidated by her job. He said real women shouldn't know more about cars than men, she explains. "What a moron," I respond without thinking. She smiles. Exactly what I thought. I share stories about college and my job at the electronics store, also admit to owning way too many Nintendo games for someone my age. "You know," she says, "for a tiny person, you're actually pretty cool. Plus, you don't seem threatened by the fact that I could probably bench press you." "Gee, thanks," I reply. "That's the nicest way anyone's ever called me pathetic." She laughs and reaches across the table to ruffle my hair. "You're like a pocket-sized teddy bear," she says. "It's actually kind of adorable." Not sure if that's good or bad, but I'll take what I can get. We spend 2 hours talking and I'm having the best time I've had in months. She's funny, smart, and only mildly condescending about my height. As we're getting ready to leave, she suggests we do this again next week. My heart does a little happy dance because apparently I have a chance. "Same time, same place, short stuff?" she asks. Agree enthusiastically, and we part ways. Spend the following week in an unusually good mood for once in my life. Even my coworkers notice I'm less miserable than usual. Saturday comes around again, and I'm practically bouncing with excitement. Show up at the coffee shop, and Riley is already there waiting. She waves me over with a huge grin on her face. "Hey there, tiny dancer," she greets me. We order drinks and sit down at our usual table. Conversation is even better this time, and I'm starting to think maybe she actually likes me. She keeps making jokes about my size, but they seem more affectionate than mean-spirited. "So," she says halfway through our coffee, "I have a question for you." My stomach drops because that phrase never leads anywhere good. "Would you maybe want to be my boyfriend?" Nearly choke on my latte because this is not what I expected. "Seriously?" I ask, still processing the information. "Seriously," she confirms. "You're sweet, funny, and the perfect height for me to rest my chin on your head." "But why me?" I ask, genuinely confused about why this goddess would choose me. She grins mischievously. "Well, for starters, if you ever try to run away from me, I can easily catch you. These long legs aren't just for show, pocket boy." Also explains that she likes how I don't get intimidated by her knowledge or strength. Most guys either run away scared or try to prove they're more manly than me. "You just accept that I could probably kick your ass and roll with it." Realize she has a point about my complete lack of masculine pride. "Plus," she adds, "you're like a portable boyfriend I can take anywhere. I could literally put you in my toolbox if needed." Not sure if that's romantic, but I'm choosing to interpret it positively. "So what do you say, short king?" she asks. "Want to be my tiny boyfriend?" Obviously say yes because I'm not a complete idiot. She reaches across the table and gives me a hug that lifts me slightly off my seat. "Perfect," she says. "Now I have my own personal Nintendo gaming buddy. And if anyone gives you trouble, I'll just pick you up and carry you to safety." Spend the rest of our coffee date planning our first official date. She suggests mini golf because it's more my size. The jokes are endless, but I'm starting to find them endearing. Walk out of the coffee shop with an actual girlfriend who could probably bench press my car, text my roommate the good news, and he responds with confusion and congratulations. "How did you land a girl who's taller than you?" he asks. "Apparently being short and pathetic is my secret weapon," I respond. Spend the following weeks in relationship bliss with occasional height-related roasting. Riley introduces me to her friends as her travel-sized boyfriend. They all seem to approve because I make her laugh and don't try to compete with her. Turns out dating someone stronger than you has its perks. She can reach high shelves, open stubborn jars, and intimidate creepy guys for me. In return, I provide excellent cuddles and Nintendo gaming expertise. Also discovered that being called Short King by someone who actually cares about you hits different. My face when I realized the tomboy mechanic actually liked my pocket-sized personality. That feel when you find someone who thinks your height is a feature, not a bug. Sometimes the best relationships come from the most unexpected places, even if those places involve getting roasted about your size while your car gets fixed.
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
Be me 20, professional virgin and walking social catastrophe, working part-time at Best Buy, because apparently my psychology degree means absolutely nothing in the real world, wearing my favorite Zelda shirt because it's the only clean thing I own, standing behind the customer service counter, dealing with Karens who think screaming makes their warranty valid. Suddenly, this absolute goddess walks up to my counter. We're talking model-tier beauty with long dark hair and eyes that could melt steel beams. She's holding some broken headphones and looking mildly annoyed. "Excuse me," she says in a voice that sounds like angels singing. "These stopped working after 2 weeks." Immediately start sweating because attractive women make my brain shut down completely. "Oh, sure," I stammer while trying to look professional. "Do you have your receipt?" She hands me the receipt and smiles. "Nice shirt, by the way. Zelda's awesome." My heart literally stops beating for approximately 5 seconds. A girl complimented my shirt and knows about video games. This is it, Anons. This is how I meet my future wife. "Thanks," I managed to say without completely embarrassing myself. "Breath of the Wild is incredible." She nods enthusiastically. "I've put like 200 hours into that game." My autism sensors are going crazy because she actually plays games. Process her return and give her store credit for new headphones. "Thanks so much," she says. "You've been really helpful." She walks away, and I'm standing there like an idiot watching her leave. Spend the rest of my shift replaying the conversation in my head. She said nice shirt, which obviously means she's interested in me. Girls don't compliment random guys unless they want the dick. Convince myself that this was basically a proposal. That night I'm lying in bed planning our entire future together. We'll bond over Zelda, then move on to other Nintendo games. Maybe she likes Pokemon too and we can trade cards. Our wedding will be Zelda themed with the Triforce everywhere. We'll have 2 kids named Link and Zelda because we're cultured like that. Spend the next week hoping she comes back to the store. Every time the door chimes, I look up, expecting to see my future wife. Finally, after a week of disappointment, she returns. She's wearing jeans and a black Sabbath t-shirt that makes her look even hotter, walks up to my counter again with a smile. "Hey," she says, "those headphones you recommended are perfect. Try to play it cool. Glad I could help. Music is important." "Definitely," she agrees. "What kind of music do you listen to?" Tell her about my incredibly sophisticated taste in video game soundtracks. She laughs and says she's more into metal and punk rock. Doesn't matter because opposites attract, and this is clearly fate. "I'm Jessica, by the way," she introduces herself. "I'm Anon," I reply. "Nice to officially meet you." We chat for like 10 minutes about music and games. She mentions she's in a band, which makes her even more perfect. Tells me they're playing at some local venue this weekend. "You should come check us out," she suggests. Nearly pass out from excitement because she's basically asking me on a date. "Absolutely," I say. "I'd love to see you perform." She gives me the details and says she'll look for me in the crowd. Spend the rest of the week preparing for what's obviously going to be our first date. Research her band online and listen to their music. They're actually pretty good, even though it's not my usual style. Plan what to wear and practice conversation topics. Tell my roommate Derek about my upcoming date with my future wife. He looks skeptical. "Dude, she probably just wants a new fan at her show." Ignore his negativity because Derek is jealous of my success with women. Spend the next day researching everything about her band and their music history. Watch YouTube videos of their previous performances like I'm studying for finals. Practice headbanging in my room to look natural at the metal show. Derek walks in on me thrashing around to screamo music. "What are you even doing?" he asks. "Preparing for my date," I explain while my neck cracks. He just stares and walks away shaking his head. Decide I need to look the part, so I go shopping for metal band t-shirts. Spend 2 hours at Hot Topic trying to find something that doesn't look too poser. I settle on a generic black shirt with skulls because it screams authentic metalhead. Also buy black jeans and practice my cool guy, lean in the mirror, YouTube tutorial on how to talk to musicians and what not to say at concerts. Make mental notes about proper concert etiquette and mosh pit safety. Even research different types of metal subgenres so I can have intelligent conversations. Turns out there's like 50 different categories and I'm overwhelmed. Decide to just nod and agree with whatever she says about music. Friday night arrives and I show up at the venue early. It's some dive bar with sticky floors and the smell of stale beer. Not exactly romantic, but musicians appreciate authentic venues. Grab a beer and find a good spot near the front. Jessica's band takes the stage and she looks incredible under the lights. She's wearing leather pants and a crop top that shows off her midriff. They start playing and she absolutely kills it on bass guitar. Her stage presence is magnetic and I'm completely mesmerized. Between songs, she scans the crowd and spots me, gives me a wave and a smile that makes my heart explode. This confirms that we're definitely meant to be together. After their set, she comes over to where I'm standing. "Thanks for coming," she says, slightly out of breath from performing. "You guys were amazing," I tell her. "You're really talented." She introduces me to her bandmates, who seem cool enough. We all hang out at the bar, talking about music and life. Jessica keeps including me in the conversation, which is a good sign. Around midnight, the band decides to call it a night. "This was fun," Jessica says to me. "Thanks again for coming out." "Anytime," I reply. "Maybe we could hang out again soon." She smiles. "Definitely, I'll see you around." Walk home that night, convinced that we're practically dating now. She invited me to her show and introduced me to her friends. Clearly she's serious about this relationship. Spend the next 3 days planning elaborate ways to impress her. Decide to learn bass guitar so we can jam together, walk into Guitar Center and pretend to know what I'm looking at. Salesperson asks what I'm interested in, and I say, bass guitars for beginners. He shows me a cheap starter bass, and I nod like I understand anything. "This one has good action and nice tone," he explains. Have no idea what action or tone means, but agree enthusiastically. Spend my entire savings on a bass guitar and tiny practice amp. Get home and realize I have no idea how to play any instrument. YouTube bass guitar tutorials for the next 6 hours straight. Fingers are bleeding after trying to fret. Basic notes. Derek comes home to me struggling with the most basic chord. "Dude, you sound like a dying cat," he observes helpfully. "It's called practice," I reply while my fingers cramp up. Spend 3 days learning one simple bass line from a Metallica song. Plan to casually mention my musical talents next time I see Jessica. Also decide I need to become more cultured so I can match her artistic energy. Spend hours at the library reading about music theory and punk rock history. Take notes on famous bass players and their contributions to music. Memorize random facts about different guitar brands and amplifier types. Practice using terms like reverb and distortion in casual conversation. Derek finds my notebook full of music terminology and laughs. You realize she's not going to quiz you on this stuff, right? Preparation is key to success, I tell him with complete seriousness. Decide to also work on my physical appearance to be more metal. Attempt to grow out my hair, but it just looks like a messy mop. Consider getting a tattoo. But chicken out at the parlor. Settle for wearing all black clothes and practicing my brooding expression. Spend weekend planning our next date. Decide to ask her out properly when she comes into the store again. Wait another week, but she doesn't show up. Start getting worried that maybe she's playing hard to get. Finally decide to look her up on social media to see if she's okay. Find her Instagram and start scrolling through her pictures. Lots of photos with her band and some artsy shots of her bass guitar. Then I see a photo that makes my blood run cold. It's Jessica kissing another girl at what looks like Pride Parade. The caption says, "Love wins," with rainbow flag emojis. I scroll through more photos and see multiple pictures with the same girl. They're clearly in a relationship and have been for months. Feel like I just got hit by a freight train of reality. Realize I completely misread every single interaction we had. She was just being friendly and I built an entire fantasy around it. Spend the next few days in denial, thinking maybe they're just friends. Convince myself that the photos could be taken out of context. Decide to shoot my shot anyway because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Wait for her to come back to the store, which takes another 2 weeks. When she finally shows up, I'm ready with my master plan. "Hey Jessica," I say with what I think is charming confidence. "Oh, hey Anon," she replies. "How's it going?" "Pretty good," I say. "Actually, I was wondering if you'd like to go out sometime. Like dinner or a movie or whatever you want to do." She looks surprised and a little uncomfortable. "Oh," she says, "that's really sweet, but I'm actually gay. I have a girlfriend and we've been together for like 8 months. The rejection hits like a nuclear bomb, but I'm too invested to give up." "Are you sure?" I ask like a complete moron. "Maybe you just haven't met the right guy." Her expression changes from uncomfortable to annoyed. "Yes, I'm sure," she says firmly. "I'm definitely not interested in guys." My autism brain decides this is the perfect time for a dick joke. "Well," I say with misplaced confidence, "maybe you haven't seen what I'm working with. I bet I could change your mind if you gave me a chance. Her eyes go wide with disgust and disbelief. Are you seriously suggesting that your dick could turn me straight? That's not how sexuality works, and it's incredibly offensive. Realize I just messed up harder than anyone has ever messed up before. Try to backtrack. I didn't mean it like that. No, she interrupts. You meant it exactly like that. You're being disrespectful and gross, and I want you to leave me alone. Other customers are starting to stare at the commotion. My manager comes over to see what's happening. Jessica explains that I was harassing her and making inappropriate comments. Manager looks at me with disappointment. Anon, go take your break. We'll discuss this later. Walk to the break room feeling like the biggest piece of shit on earth. Jessica leaves without buying anything, and I know I'll never see her again. Manager calls me into his office an hour later. What the hell were you thinking? He asks. Explain the whole situation, and he just shakes his head. You can't say things like that to customers, he says, especially not to women who have made it clear they're not interested. Get written up and have to attend sensitivity training. Spend the next week avoiding the customer service counter. Every time someone mentions Zelda, I die a little inside. Realize I turned a simple compliment into a months-long delusion. Learn the hard way that being nice doesn't mean someone wants to date you. And also learn that suggesting your dick can change someone's sexuality is not an effective pickup strategy. Derek tries to cheer me up by pointing out that at least I learned something. What did I learn? I ask. That you're an idiot, he says helpfully. Can't argue with that logic. Delete all my wedding planning notes and accept my fate as a lonely virgin. Still wear my Zelda shirt, but now it reminds me of my greatest social failure. That feel when you mistake basic human kindness for romantic interest. My face when I thought a compliment about my shirt was equivalent to a marriage proposal. Sometimes the real treasure is the delusions we made along the way.